Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome to Romancing the Stones, week 6 of 6, Schools Out Middle School League. My name is Robert. I'm joined in the booth by Kyle. How's it going, Kyle?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I am doing great. We got the last week of our middle school league here. You're not playing in this league, right, Kyle, if I remember correctly?
Yeah, I couldn't commit to this summer time period myself, but it's good to be here. I've been watching the streams, and it's nice to be included. So thanks for bringing me on.
Absolutely. Well, it's great to have you here. Give you a little bit of background here. Both these players are 5-1. Sorry, they're X1. They're not 5-1. 5-1 would be the end of the league. They're X1. They're playing for... Sorry, no, they're X2, because I can't keep anything straight. I'm clearly not the TO. Don't pay any attention to the man behind the curtain. Sorry, they are X2. And the reason why that's important is because some number of X2s will actually make top 8. And some number of X2s will not make top 8. So these guys are potentially playing for the winning in the top 8, and that makes it exciting for all of us. For all of those watching at home. Yeah, so you've seen the deck lists. What do we got playing for this evening for us?
So it looks like Phil Collier is on some kind of Terrageddon pile with some cards that I could not recognize from his deck photo. It was kind of a potato picture, but there are also some interesting cards in there. So I had to message him and ask, like, what the heck is going on here? So we got some interesting curveballs, at least as far as I'm concerned. So it looks pretty good. I think he's played a couple weeks ago on stream too, so hopefully this will be a good match for him.
Definitely.
And Mr. Kai also has werebears and terravores, I believe, but a bunch of other enchantments and stuff.
He does. It looks like he's on some sort of tax rack Terrageddon without the Geddon. We have a Cataclysm. Well, we have Geddons. So it's like tax rack with some Geddons.
Stats here. Kai has the most expensive deck of the 4 tonight, worth about $10,000 according to Moxfield. And Phil Collier's deck comes in, I think, third most expensive. Now I lost the number, but they're all in the thousands of dollars range according to Moxfield. So it's Clash of Titans here with good cards.
Well, speaking of the Clash of Titans, our match has gotten underway, and both players have kind of opened up with land pass, with Kai dropping the first permanent with the Sylvan Library into a scroll rack. And Phil has not done too much to go with that. We're going to cycle a land, it looks like here.
Can you hear me?
I can, yes. So it looks like Kai has
Yeah, cut out.
That might help. Can you hear me through Slack? Well, we're solving some audio difficulties with Kyle and myself, but we'll work through them. In the meantime, Philip, if you've watched him play on stream before, he does have some technical limitations in how he joins us through the stream. He is joining us through his iPad, so apologies for the blurry image there, but we'll do our best to help get that commentated to you guys. So it does look like, as chat has pointed out, that we may be mulching here, and we're putting some cards in the graveyard, making our land drops. Kai's going to untap 2 plains, Sylvan Library, and a scroll rack. Scroll rack and Sylvan Library aren't really the most efficient cards together.
Well, if you can hear me, I see some cards being played here. All right. Oh, you can hear me. Okay. Let me try and reload this. Sorry.
We're working on getting Kyle to hear us. We can hear Kyle. You guys can hear me. Kyle and I aren't really communicating with each other, so we're going to do our best. We're just, this is week 6. Why save the bugs for the beginning when you can save them for last? But let's pick this match back up here, chat. Let's take a look back in here. Both of these decks are kind of durdling along. Trying to generate advantage. Philip threw some mulch and putting some cards in his hand and graveyard. Kai, looking at some Sylvan Library draws while also scroll racking. You get a chance to look at a number of cards the first time, but after that, the cards kind of end up being the same. But Phil is going to go ahead and play the mainstay here, a Terraform, which is immediately going to meet a Swords to Plowshares. And what was about to be off to the races continues to be more Durdles. Well, Phil is going to go ahead and untap and present another threat, a Mystic Enforcer here. Quick threshold count goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Looks like we've got threshold here, which makes this really big. And we're going to see another Sword to Plowshares. So Kai has all the tools right now. Wow. All right, well. Philip asking some questions, Kai answering those questions. We'll see what Kai wants to do next. All right, Phil is going to play what looks like, I believe, an Antigua Monastery. I want to double check that that's in his list. It is. Yes. Okay, so that looks like an Antigua Monastery. That can come in and do some stuff. Kai is going to go ahead and answer or follow up his plays with his own Terravore. And Phil's just going to grow the Terravore by putting more lands in the graveyard here. So we take care of the Undiscovered Paradise, but we grow the Terravore here. So quick dice check here shows us the Terravore's got 7 power. It's meaty. It's big there.
Okay, I'm back.
Perfect.
What did I miss?
Okay, so right now, Kai has a big Terravore, and Phil has a couple of creatures removed in the removed from game zone.
Kai, big Terravore. Got it. Looking good.
And here's the card. Too powerful for pre-modern. It is land tax. The land tax and scroll rack match made in heaven.
Should be triggering with his 3 planes. So that's good.
Yes.
this Concordant Crossroads looking card next to Scroll Rack?
That is Sylvan Library. So Kai's got Sylvan Library in play with land tax and Scroll Rack. So quite a bit of manipulation there.
Yep, he's looking at the top cards, picking which ones he wants, shuffling away.
Yep.
Now he's pointing at what triggers are going off, choosing his orders.
So how do we even want to stack this?
Land tax was banned in pre-modern?
It is. It was banned in pre-modern a couple of weeks ago. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of opinions about it.
Too intensive for newer players. Yeah, exactly, yeah. I'm part of the camp that thinks it's fine to ban cards that are too hard to play. So I'm okay with it. I don't need people like Kai getting an advantage over me. Knowing how to set the triggers, so.
Yeah,
if I play that card, I do it wrong.
Sure, yeah. Well, when you got things like Sylvan Library and Scroll Rack, there's a lot of ways to do this poorly, where you just look at the same cards over and over again, or you can do it the other way, right, which you get to look at a whole bunch of new cards. Put 3 basic lands in your hand, then draw 3 cards with Sylvan Library, put them back, and then Scroll Rack before your draw step. I don't know, that seems wild. No, you scroll. Maybe you Scroll Rack before you land tax. See, I don't even know how to play land tax, apparently. Chat, tell me how to play land tax. What do I do?
With Scroll Rack and Sylvan.
Exactly. So Kai's going to continue his turn by wastelanding the village, I'm assuming. Are we just wastelanding?
Yeah, he's gonna get rid of the only threat there. That's what he's afraid of, I guess.
That would make sense. Which leaves what? A plains, 2 forests, and I still think the Nantuko village is there. We got rid of the one of the lands. Oh, Kai's gonna swing in for with 9 power, which would normally be almost half the life total, but Philip did gain 10 life off of his opponent's 2 Sword Plowshares. So instead of being more or less a 2-turn clock, we have 3 turns here.
So in response to the attack, Phil fetched. Is that what happened here?
I think we've moved into main phase 1. I think we're fetching on Phil's turn. Because that was his land drop for the turn, because he did get wasted. So I think we are moving into Hermit Druid, right? Is that Hermit Druid? No, that's a mulch. I lied. Okay. There's no Hermit Druid in this deck.
Oh, mulch.
No. Definitely pump fake with the Hermit Druid. That was not a Hermit Druid. There are no Hermit Druids in this deck. We are going to play a Morph. Okay, so here's the question. What morph is this?
Probably Exalted Angel. Is that the only morph that anybody plays?
That is the only morph that we could reasonably expect from Phil's deck, I think. So, Phil, we see a lot of popular morph creatures with Exalted Angel. In green colors, you also see Nantuko Vigilante. And elves, you see, there could be a number of elves, but I think out of these Terrageddon style decks, it's really just angels. So angels really the only thing with mileage. Chat saying every time we play Morph, we announce that we're casting Exalted Angels. I think that's totally reasonable. Even if you're not casting Exalted Angels, you have to tell your opponent that. Make your opponent fear.
But I don't think Kai cares, right?
I mean, if he doesn't have the answer to it, it's going to buy Philip more time. And
yeah,
sure. I don't think it's going to race the Terravore, but it's going to buy Philip at least an extra turn, if not an extra 2 turns here. So if I'm kind of not happy about it, but it's a lot better than a Sword of Plowshares, I suppose, because, this Terravore attacks for 10. 10's a lot. 10 is half of Phil's life total.
Yep. We shuffling the top of our deck and rearranging cards and paying life and scrolling away.
Yeah.
Stacking our triggers.
Okay, so let's try this again. Let's see if we can figure out the optimal play here. If we put a bunch of basic lands in our hand, we want to scroll rack them away so we can search them back up again. So then we stack our triggers where we scroll first, yeah. Then we search, which shuffles the library, and then we Sylvan Library, which gets us 3 new cards. I think that seems
Sylvan
good.
Last, so yeah. If you Sylvan Last, it gives you the option to pick up extra cards.
Yeah.
If you want to pay the life.
Oh my gosh. Sword of Plowshares number 3.
I guess.
All right. Kai has everything this game, it feels like. Including the better internet connection.
Well, his deck has 7 in it.
I guess that makes sense, right? You just want to draw them every game, so you just got to put as many as you can.
Right. But Collier's got all the Armageddons and Cataclysms.
Which is wonderful when Terravore is not on the battlefield. The problem Phil faces is... Yeah,
you don't want to pump it up.
Now, the funny thing is here, we talked about this Exalted Angel buying Philip an extra turn. It did gain him some life, so that could get him some extra time. Phil is at 11. This Terravore's power is at 11. So, maybe this Nantuko Village becomes a chump blocker. Oh no, Werebear's the blocker. Okay, so we'll play a 3/3.
We're gonna block with the Werebear.
Here we go. We're gonna get under this Terravore bust. Yes, very much so. I guess we're looking for a Sword of Plowshares from Phil.
Sure.
Now, notably here,
life. Why not?
Kai is grabbing. There's a basic island in his deck. Basic island is curious. Leave it to Kai to play something that is definitely non-standard.
So Kai has at least a blue card in his deck, which is Propaganda. So that would be a weird card to play now, wouldn't it?
It would. It would be a weird card to play now.
Bear's not going to attack him.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this. Your chump blocker is too small because we're going to Geddon. And yeah, that is definitely it. Okay, so
that is dogs.
Kyle's going to win that one.
Wow.
Be up a game as we move to sideboard, showing the power of the resolved Terravore. If it's left to sit on the table and do things.
That'll happen.
All right, Kyle. So you've looked at these sideboards. What do you think our players are looking for?
Well, Phil has COP Red, which is not great here.
Nope.
He's got Phyrexian Furnace, which I think might be a little slow. But he's got some Tormod's Crypts, which could be good.
Okay.
So that might be a good one to bring in. He's got Disenchant for all Kai's random enchantments. You might want that. And one of the spicy cards I hadn't seen before is Kirtar's Desire.
Sure.
This is creature enchantment. Says enchanted creature can't attack. And with Threshold, it can't block either. So those could be good with Threshold.
Yep.
I think.
Build your own pacifism.
He's got Curse Totem. So players can't play creature abilities with an activation cost. Does that count morphs? I'm not sure. That would host his own Exalted Angel. Or...
Yeah, I think that does stop Morph. I think Morph is the activated ability. Morph is sits in kind of this weird space of rules. I'm fairly certain.
Yeah.
Morph is a special action, chat is saying. So yes, Morph sits in this special space. It doesn't even use the stack, so it is not an activated ability. You cannot place it on the stack. It is just a special action that happens. So yeah, you can Curse Totem and still morph and unmorph. Sounds great.
But I don't think Kai has any activated ability. He's got the Werebear, tap for some green. That might be the only activated ability on a creature he's got, so that's probably a good card.
I like the Kurtar's Desire.
I think he has besides that.
Yeah, I think you called it right. The Tormod's Crypts and the Kurtar's Desires and the Disenchant effects. I think those are going to be very powerful here.
Yeah.
Let's look at what Kai's got. Kai has...
And Kai's got... he has an Engineer Plague main deck and another one in the side. Because he doesn't like elves.
Sure.
I don't think that's going to be good here. Abolish. I'm trying to think if... I don't think Phil had the same... He doesn't have land tax or anything, right?
No, I don't.
Okay, we don't need that.
We didn't even see any abolishable permanents either.
Karmic Justice is always fun. You can drop that guy in. They want to destroy your permanent, destroy all theirs.
Yeah, Karmic Justice. I mean, we did see some Wasteland, effects, some of those things. So I could see something like that coming in.
Tormod's Crypts.
Tormod's Crypts. I mean, if your opponent's got Terravor, I think
Tormod Crypts coming in both sides.
Yeah. Very similar style decks that are trying to run similar engines, but I think Kai is still trying to create a value engine with this land tax rack plan, and that allows you to kind of trim on your primary strategy. There's less Terravors and Armageddons in Kai's deck than there are in Phil's deck, but you get to see them almost every game when you assemble this value engine that he did game one.
Kai's going to pull out that Pyroclasm and that Propaganda, probably. If I had to guess. Side those out.
Yeah. Spicy main decks for sure. And when you see a bunch of cards in a game, you can have those one-ofs. And it's hard to do in formats like Middle School because you don't have, those same kind of value engines that you have in some of our other Eternal formats. You really have to assemble these kind of mad scientist machines the way that Kai did.
Yeah. He is a mad scientist for sure. But Phil's got cute dogs, so he's got that going for him.
He does. He did share with us some cute dogs of his prior to the match. There are 3 of them. Chat, tell me what these dogs' names are. I want to know what these dogs' names are. And you can tell me anything, and I'm gonna believe you, because I don't know what the dogs' names are. I'm going to trust the chat.
By the way, I messaged Phil my 3 guesses, and he said I got them all right. So I guess I know the dogs' names.
See, there you go. See? All right, chat, you too can be Kyle and just guess the 3 dogs' names and be correct.
Exactly. You have to be ridiculous, though, because their names are insane.
All right, well, our game 2 is going to get started here. It looks like... Yeah, I think that's the Cycle Land, Cycle Forest, which is just going to meet a Wasteland. Okay, so Kai opting for potentially a tempo play, which makes sense. You've got the diamond. But he's not going to play any 1-drops.
The deck is expensive.
Okay. He's going to end step Enlightened Tutor for land tax. Sure. That makes sense when you've got the Mox Diamond.
I was already thinking, how am I going to draw more cards than this guy? What can I do?
I think if you want to draw more cards than Kai, your best bet... See, what's ridiculous that I can use to draw a bunch of cards that makes no sense to play? We could play Dragon Wizard. Dragon Wizard will draw us more cards.
Oh, sure. Yeah. I don't see that in his list, unfortunately. So maybe next
Yeah.
next
So
tournament.
we need to tell these players to play Dragon Wizard to draw more cards. Arcanus, good call. Will absolutely draw a lot of cards. Arcanus the Omnipotent.
Yeah, I've been meaning to build a Wizards deck, by the way. I think that would be sweet.
I think it's
Teferis and whatever going.
It's a tribe we haven't seen a lot of lately.
Urtai.
Well, so
the black blue Urtai, he's pretty sweet.
It looks like Kai has followed up with a werebear, which has been met with his opponent's own werebear. So it looks like we've got a brushland, a forest, and a core haven, I believe, with werebear on Phil's side, and then Kai is the Undiscovered Paradise. I was just about to say he's a land short, but it's the Undiscovered Paradise, and we're going to Sword the mana, and we're going to tap for 2, play a scroll rack. All right. So Sword to Plowshares early on this werebear seems interesting, especially because we can just follow up with the Terravore. I think that is maybe that just shows that Kai's got more Sword to Plowshares in hand. But I think the Terravore is 3 power, which is more than the werebear, and I think it's doing more of a threat here. So we'll see if Kai has the second Sword to Plowshares. Plays an Undiscovered Paradise. Does have the second Sword to Plowshares. That is a brushland, yes. So Kai indicating that he has all of the things by playing Sword of Plowshares number 2. Phil has 3 cards in hand. Oh, look! We're going to play an Exalted Angel for 3 as a generic 2/2.
Mm-hmm.
And we have Sword of Plowshares number 3 again. 2 games in a row. Okay. We haven't even activated Scroll Rack yet.
No.
Man. Kai making it look easy by just, we don't need a value engine. We can just draw the good cards. And all right, so we've upgraded these bananas of werebears into ham sandwiches. Right. We now have Threshold.
Really?
But Phil's going to draw another threat, so that's excellent. We're land off from capitalizing on it, I believe. But all right, Kai, you got to have Sword of Plowshares number 4. If you don't, all right. Well, werebear's going to get in the red zone, rumble for 6 damage here. And then we are going to follow up with a second land tax here. All right, so Phil's going to play a werebear of his own, and this is important because this is going to be the 4th mana that I believe he needs. Oh, he may be white source short. Chat, does Core Haven tap for white? I can't keep track of these lands with abilities. The ones I want to tap for color don't. The ones that I don't care do tap for colors. It does not. Okay, thank you, chat. Okay, so Phil is a white mana short from flipping this. But, hey, you were right, Kyle. He did bring in the Kurtar's Desire. We did pacify one of these werebears here.
Just wanted to flex that card.
Yeah.
So he hit it.
I like it. I think it's great. Now, Kai here, demonstrating the power of land tax. I have no lands in play versus your 3, so I'm going to land tax forever, and you will never stop me, is what Kai says.
Mm-hmm. Who could sack his lands to a Zern Orb and fall behind on lane ticks. Get crazy.
we do have the out to the land tax. We could sacrifice all of our lands and stop Kai from land taxing, which, honestly is not the worst thing if you can do that, because then he's just going to recycle the same basic lands on top of his library with Scroll Rack. That, he's already used 3 Sword to Plowshares. The likelihood of him drawing the 4th one after putting a bunch of basic lands on top of his library is very low. So I don't know. Maybe that's the world we live in, and just flip this angel and go to town.
Did I mention I've gotten to sign the Apocalypse Chime twice? So don't listen to me.
Chat, for those who are not initiated, the Apocalypse Chime Award is the traveling signed card that we send the absolute last place participant in our leagues. So it is not an easy thing to win. So it is a feather in the cap, Kyle.
Yeah, I worked hard for that thing.
Yeah, you did.
Right.
But I think it might actually be, a valid strategy, right? If we can... Oh, nope, I spoke too soon. Kai found Sword to Plowshares number 4, so we cannot sacrifice all of our lands and ride this angel to victory. Instead, we just have to pretend Kai is running 7 Sword to Plowshares, because he's drawn 7 of them in 2 games. Holy moly.
If he plays a 5th, we're going to call a judge.
Oh, man. Okay, well, can Phil draw the 2nd sideboarded Kurtur's Desire? Let's find out. Live total check here. Kai's at 18. Phil appears to be at 8. Oh, and he does draw the 2nd one. So now these werebears are not going to be rumbling anytime soon. This is at least buying some buying Phil some time.
Now for this.
All right, so remind me,
cents.
Does Kurtar's Desire stop activated abilities with Threshold as well, or is it just a pacifism when Threshold is activated?
Just pacifism.
Okay.
Womp womp.
Womp womp. Indeed. Well, that still means that...
Does the enchantment fall off? By the way.
Okay. It is going to buy Phil a lot more time, because now Kai has to find another threat. And I mean, we're going to go see, what is that? 5 new cards this turn? Jeez.
They're all sorts of plowshares.
They're all sorts of plowshares. If I'm Phil, that's what I'm thinking. My out is Kai playing the 5th Swords and Plowshares on camera. Duress!
Right.
All right. What do we got? Sword to Plowshares number 5 happens to be in Phil's hand. We're going to lose that. I might have just swords one of these bears just in case. I don't know. I guess we don't need to give our opponent 3 life.
They're already pacified. What are you concerned about?
Disenchant effects. I don't know.
I think he's going to disenchant.
Sending a message. Yeah. I'm concerned about sending a message to Kai. I'd rather you have 3 more life than let you actually resolve duress. I mean, Kai's been sending messages all match long, so I think it's time for Phil to send one.
Right.
All right, Kai's got 5 cards in hand.
So
we're going to see him get
triggered twice.
Yeah, each land tax will trigger independently. And again, Kai has significantly less lands than Phil does.
Totally out of signatures.
What this means is Kai is going to have the ability to scroll rack 5 cards on back into his library, draw 5 cards. Then he's going to be able to put 6, if he's got 6 basic lands, 6 cards back into his hand, and he's going to have 11 cards this turn. He presumably will play 1, maybe 2 of them, maybe move to discard, and then he's just going to be cycling 7 cards and seeing 7 new cards every turn. And let me tell you what's a really good way to win games.
Done a lot with all these cards he's drawing.
This is well, he's found 4 Sword to Plowshares. He's kept himself alive. He's done that, but past that, he's not presented too much of a. Well, I mean, he's got 2 3/3s. He's got 6 power. A
couple of pacified bears.
Yeah, I mean, it was really pressuring Phil before he found the answers. So I don't know. I'd say that we're doing something with all the cards we're drawing, but we're gonna find a Terravor eventually, and we know that Phil is out of answers for that Terravor at the moment. No cards in hand, no 1 Sword of Plowshares in the bin. Both of the sideboarded Qatar's Wrath already in play. Now Terravor isn't very big right now.
Guy's got 3 meddling mages. Where are those?
Oh man, that's what the island is for. Holy moly.
You must have seen one. Right.
I'm willing to believe it. Meddling Mage, very powerful card in this format. What do we even name? Because we don't really care about Armageddons. We don't really care. We can name Sword of Plowshares. I've already cast all my Sword of Plowshares. Yeah, let's just name Sword of Plowshares. Holy moly. Okay, so here's what I love about this Cataclysm so much, is we're going to get to pick that doesn't pick enchantments. All the enchantments get to stay. So we do get to keep the bears pacified.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, if Phil has to pick an enchantment, he picks one, and then Kai ends up picking the werebear that isn't, that doesn't have the enchantment that's staying. But which is what I think.
Artifact creature enchantment.
Okay. So I'm not sure how we resolve this in a way, because you get to play 50-50 coin flip with the werebear.
Which goes first, and which creature goes first? Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think our players have resolved it in such a way that the werebear that is sticking around is the pacified werebear, which is fine. Phil's definitely happy to see that. Kai following up with another Monk's Diamond, so cementing his mana advantage. We did lose the scroll rack with that, so interestingly enough, we don't follow up with another scroll rack. We've got 7 cards in hand. Now, what I do love is that Phil did sacrifice all of his extra lands to Zoran Orb, so we are definitely far more cemented back into this game. And we're going to mulch. Okay. Mulch is going to get us somewhere. It's going to get us some resources back. Maybe pump up the werebear here so that we can start attacking. Kai has no more removal. We just have the 4 Sword to Plowshares. 1 Cataclysm, that's gone. So, we don't really have a way to stop a 3/3 from hitting us if our only blocker's pacified.
Kai's only removal now is propaganda, I guess, if he even kept it in. I don't know.
I can't imagine that's still in the deck. Oh, doesn't matter. We're just going to play a big fatty. That's the way we stop a 3/3. We just play something bigger. All right, well...
Kai's so smart.
Phil does have Terravor mana. All he has to do is draw it. And if he does... Oh no, we're gonna Meddling Mage Terravor now? Or no, we have to Meddling Mage Sword to Plowshares. We have to. We can at least bounce our Terravoids. But You could name Terravor with Meddling Mage and prevent your opponent from casting their own.
I like it.
Ooh. That's a 1-mana spell. Was that? Oh no, recycled. Okay. I thought that was a Sword of Plowshares, and I thought that he had named Terravor for a second. But that's not what happened, chat.
So, Phil, what is it? A werebear? In the middle there? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so land check. Terravor is a 13 power creature. Life check. Phil is at 16. All right, so, he's got a turn. Without Sword to Plowshares, I think his only out is going to be Terravor. All right, we're gonna take the 12 or 13. All right, one-time dealer. Phil says, "Let's go."
What are we trying to do? Hit with the crackback with our werebear? Why don't we block there? I don't get that.
Oh no, that's the problem. All right, well. He can't play Werebear. Or he can't play Terravor. So I think he's named Terravor, so Phil can't cast his own. Because he's walking that back. So Phil does have an out here if we can find a Sword to Plowshares. How many does Phil have is the question. Survey says the full 4. All right, full 4. We've got that. So we've got 3 left in the deck. Let's see if we can draw one. If not, we are in a tight spot.
Well, I don't get why Phil didn't block with his werebear when he was taking 12.
Because I think it doesn't change the math, and I think he wants the mana. Is my best guess. But we're not making Sword to Plowshare maneuvers, so that leads me to believe we're in a really tight spot.
Yeah, this is rough for Phil. A lot of threats. He's going to die to a Meddling Mage, hitting for 2.
It is important to note Terravor does have Trample.
Oh, I did not notice that.
Yes. The other reason why we have a block. So Phil's going to show that he's got a Terravor in hand, I think. And Kai's going to win this one 2-0.
No.
Off the strength of drawing every single Sword to Plowshare in his deck. But it helps when you're seeing, half of your library every game.
Canceling my Kurtar's Desire order.
Yeah. Kurtar's Desire was a really powerful limited card.
Definitely kept him in the game for a while, yeah, for sure. Kept him around.
I agree.
Some more.
Definitely agree there. So Kai is going to move up to an 4-2 for this event, which puts him in a good position to perhaps get into top 8 on tiebreakers. We'll see. There's a lot of kind of chaos with our X4s potentially, because some 5-1s are going to lose and become X2s, and we'll see what their tiebreakers look like. I am one of those people. I am nervous that the wrong people are going to win and I'm going to lose and I'm going to get 9th. We'll see.
I believe in you. You'll be all right.
I'm telling every X2 in the league, hey, there's a shot. You've got a shot, and hopefully I'm not jinxing myself, but
Sure.
But yeah, so that's going to put us there for now. I think that next match is going to be exciting as well. We're going to deliver an X1 and our only undefeated player of the league, Raja. He's been on stream a few times before. So that's going to be fun.
Eternal Vintage Champion Raja James.
The one and only.
Wow, you can't beat him.
No, I do not want to play him this league. I'm pretty sure that he will mop the floor with me. His deck is
on mono red. What a coward.
We are, you know what though? Stu and I are so happy he's on mono red. I love his mono red build. It's been very interesting to see.
It is wild. Yeah, something.
It's gonna be a blast. So hold on there if you're in chat watching. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. And while we do that, we're gonna go ahead and queue up our second match of the evening. Russell James on mono red. Playing against David here on the Survival Infestation Shenanigan. No, I'm sorry. Survival Snowblind, right?
It's Survival Deranged Tournament. I don't know. It's insane. I love it.
It's the deck is great. The deck is a lot of fun. We've seen David on stream before. Stormbind, Survival, Madness, Shenanigans. It's going to be great. So stay tuned. We will be back in a jiffy, and we'll bring it to you as soon as we can. What's up, everybody? We're back here with Romancing the Stone School's Out Middle School League, week 6 of 6. My name is Robert. I'm here with Kyle. How's it going, Kyle?
Great. That was some fun magic right there. Two Titans clashing up, and I think we got 2 more Titans coming up here, so this is exciting.
We absolutely do have 2 Titans. Raja James versus David Glacier. Oh my gosh, I'm going to butcher a name. I apologize. 2 people we have seen on stream this league, let alone previous leagues. Raja James, of course, is the only undefeated person of our 6-round event, and David is an X1 competitor as well. Both these players, Raja for sure, David almost for sure, locked in top 8 already. So right now we're battling for seed and to mess up all of the tiebreakers. Because if David wins, then there are no undefeated players, and all of the X2s have their tiebreakers change. If Raja wins, then David falls to X2, probably has good enough tiebreakers to get in, and then the rest of the tiebreakers go a different way. So while these players aren't necessarily playing for their fates, everyone else's fate is tied to their match right now. So it's going to be exciting. I'm excited to see what happens. This is your first chance to look at their list. What do you think about what our competitors have brought today?
Well, the first thing I noticed is Raja's deck is $3,488.23. David's deck is $5,515.03. So I'm giving the advantage to David here. He's got another $2,000 on Raja. He's got some good cards in here.
Absolutely.
So I'm big pulling for that guy. Plus, Raja's playing mono red is always the bad guy, but I do like his list. So it's gonna be tough. Plus, Raja's the vintage champion of the last year, so he's always favored, I think.
This is true. He does get to hold on to the title for a while longer. So it looks like David is on the play here. He's going to go ahead and start off with a Forest and a Rootwalla here. Playing some fair magic here. Rootwalla the hard way. And it is immediately going to eat a Firebolt.
Wow.
Love to see it.
He's going for the creatures. Okay.
Yeah, sure. So Raja is going to play the control up until the moment he doesn't. And he still has to win the game somehow. But I think this is definitely, a smart move here. We're going to play some control the board, and then get some land, and then just throw everything we've got. As you mentioned before, Raja's playing all mountains, and his list is not Sly. It is not a combination of burn and Sly cards. It is just burn, which means everything can go to the face.
Mono red list. He has the highest average CMC or total CMC of all 4 decks tonight, even though he's playing mono red, which I thought was wild. But I guess it's because he has less basic lands and more real cards. Plus a couple like Fire Blast.
Okay, Fire Blast is like cheating, right? Because the CMC of that card is 0. It says 6.
Adds up, yeah.
It might as well not have a mana cost. It's just the alternate cost.
Yeah, I'm just reading the stats. I don't know what these mean.
Well, Raja's pivot to aggressive here is going to have to come probably a little bit sooner than he was ready for, as David plays survival. Double Forest, survival. That's going to allow David to really ramp up his advantage here, which mono red doesn't have an advantage engine. Certainly nothing in the likes of survival. So we'll see.
What is David's deck, by the way? Like I'm sure survival he was excited to see in his opener, but I don't know. He's got Squeeze, he's got Genesis, he's putting stuff in his graveyard. I don't know what he's doing here.
So for those who haven't seen David's deck earlier in the league, what David's deck tries to do is it plays a little bit more of a fair survival than some of these combo builds, or a bit more some of the degenerate, value engines. And we still have the Squeeze. Squeeze are a mainstay, but we have a lot of Rootwalla, so we can discard a Rootwallas, cast them for free. That generates value. Go grab Squee to then survival again. That generates value. And we're gonna gather a bunch of these cards that are either like free to play off of our survivals, give us more mana, grabbing birds, come back to our hand. And we're going to use that to then just grab some really good, kind of haymakers. the other side of this deck, we have the Snowblind enchantment, right? Oh my gosh, why can't I remember its name? Stormbind from Ice Age, hence snow. Stormbind, yeah. Stormbind allows you to discard cards at random to shock any target, 2 damage to any target. Well, if all your hand is squeezed, you just pay 1 mana, discard a squee, deal 2 damage to something, get squeezed back, and you can really, really get some reach in the later stages of the game. So that's what David's deck is looking to assemble. It has brought him to 5-1 here, or 4-1 here on our streams.
So
on our
shock the bird of paradise, is that right?
No, you're supposed to bolt the birds, not shock the birds. Come on, Raja. You wait, like, bolt is 1 more damage. We just want to bolt the birds.
Did Raja ask for advice on how to play mono red in middle school? Because Stu's like the master, right?
Stu plays a lot of basic mountains. I play a lot of basic mountains, and we both had a lot of opinions on what basic mountains Raja was playing, and what his deck was. So, and we've seen mono red come into our leagues before. There's always some sort of presence, but we've never seen a deck quite like Raja's, what is really just all burn cards. There are no creatures. You see things like Firebolt, you see shocks, but don't typically make those red decks. But yeah, so I think a couple matches ago, you saw Stu and I both commentate Raja's appearance on the stream, and both basic mountain aficionados really enjoyed the spectacle. But as the game progresses here, yeah, we're again extracting value out of the survival, and I think we're going to hopefully see.
Raja did say before the match that it would be better to lose now than to go undefeated.
Yes,
he felt like that would give him a disadvantage. So
yes, I still think if Raza loses, he's got to be at least 2nd seed. I still don't think he's or 3rd seed. At worst, I think. So there's a really high floor for Raja here. But all right, we're gonna bolt a Root Walla. And Raja's going to pass with 3 cards in hand, so we are looking for some sort of repeatable sources of damage. And without creatures, the best thing in Raja's deck is going to be Sulfuric Vortex. So we're looking for Sulfuric Vortex. We have a number of other options for high impact spells, like Price of Progress. Unfortunately, David's Battlefield does not cooperate with Price of Progress here.
Doesn't care about that.
Nope.
Please.
Oh man.
We got some cradles though, so if he gets into that, we can Capucin Forest Cradle. That's land territory.
David is going to cast a Stormbind, which means David is going to say, "Hey, I'm going to be the burn deck here in a moment." All right, we're doing a quick mana count. Let's see. So mana is 2 mana for the Wall of Roots. Wall of Roots gets a counter, so we can cast the Stormbind. And
discard a card at random to deal 2 damage to target creature or player.
Yep.
For 2 mana. Expensive. And you have red and green. That's some good flavor text though. Look it up. Nice. Lovisa Cold Eyes.
What is the flavor text of Stormbind? Go ahead and share it for chat.
So it says, once our people could all call... let me start over. Once our people could call down the storm itself to do our bidding. Lovisa Cold Eyes, Baldivian Chieftain.
Ooh. Good stuff. They don't make flavor text like they used to.
They don't even quote Shakespeare anymore. It's ridiculous.
Need more Shakespeare in our Magic. So the problem is now, like, someone's going to hear that, and then we're going to get, beyond the universe Shakespeare magic. All right, well,
a bunch of secret layers worth a lot of money. So
secret lair Shakespeare.
Layers,
So we saw kind of the wheels fall off very quickly for Raja there. David was able to play survival, extract value, draw into Stormbind, and be really set up to just far outpace the kind of damage that Raja needed. The delicate balance with Burn is that you do play control up until the moment you have to throw everything at your opponent. And if that moment comes after your hand has little to no resources, you're in trouble. So David's going to get the first game there. But that brings us to our sideboards. Kyle, what are some of these cards that our players are going to look at?
So let's see. DG first has got some red cards of his own. He's got Pyroblast, which is not great.
Nope.
It counters blue spells. He's got his Bloodfire Dwarfs, which he could sacrifice to do 1 damage to a creature.
There are no creatures here.
Not great. He's got Red Elemental Blast, counters blue spells. He's not bringing any red cards in.
No.
He's got Tormod's Crypt, useless.
No.
He's got, let's see, Uktabi Orangutan. I don't know that Raja has any artifacts.
No, that is a 3-mana 2/2. Do nothing.
He's got Naturalize, useless. He's got Collar of the Claw. You can make a bear, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's good. Maybe. He's got Ravenous Baloth.
Those are good.
Gain 4 life. Super relevant. He's got Spike Feeder. Super duper relevant. Gain lots of stuff. Lots of life. And he's got Spike Weaver, which I guess could be a beater.
I definitely think we're going to see all the life gainers come in here.
Maybe the green life gainers is what he's working on.
Spike feeders, the 1 spike feeder and the 2 ravenous Baloth, and I think we're just going to call it a day. If game 2 goes like game 1, we're not going to need much more than that.
Yeah. Raja has got what does he have here in the sideboard? Anarchy. What is this? Destroy all white permanents. Terrible.
We didn't see any white permanents. There are no white permanents.
Flaring Pain. I don't even know what that does. Damage can't be prevented this turn. I guess you cast that first, then you go burn their face. So I don't know. That seems not great, but what do I know? Pyrostatic Pillar. That seems insane.
That seems like the card Raja actually wants in this matchup.
He's not afraid of playing that.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll just play it and hope that you cast less small cards than your opponent. And Sulfuric Vortex, which is race to the bottom. So I think that might be bringing in.
Given the way this tournament and this league has played out and the roles that these two players have played between being players on stream and Raja coming into the booth for a week, these players, as a result, do know each other's deck lists right now. This is typically a closed deck list, league with open deck lists in the top 8. But right now, the way things have worked out, both players are fully aware of each other's deck lists. So Raja knows that there are some life gain green cards coming in against him. So maybe bringing in the extra Vortex to make it up to 4 main deck Sulfuric Vortex might be something he's interested in. Bringing in the Pyrostatic Pillars is a very good way to punish the type of half of the value that David wants to generate off of these survivals, playing these root wallas, playing these birds, playing these wall of roots, things like that. So that is also something that Raja's deck is going to need in order to generate that advantage and kind of try to keep up, is having something that repeats its sources of damage. So I think you said before, like with David's sideboard, most of it is completely irrelevant. None of it is going to help except for those 3 life gain cards. And I think Raja is interested in at least some number of Pyrostatic Pillars and maybe even the 4th Sulfuric Vortex.
We have 11 Tormod's Crypts against the 4 players tonight.
Oh, you know what? That's a good call.
Next tournament, watch out, because it's everywhere. It's insane.
Speaking of Tormod's Crypt, Raja's probably interested in bringing at least, half of his 4 copies, probably all 4.
Mr. Take You a Squee, right?
Yes. Even getting rid of 1 squee can be enough to, slow down the value train. So Raja definitely has a lot of decisions to make. What what cards that deal damage to your opponent's face do you want to take out? First things first, get rid of the 4 pressure progresses, right? Those cards immediately come out. So that should be easy. The rest starts to become, maybe a little questionable. Take out some of the worst burn spells, bring in some of the, better ones.
Like Guerrilla Tactics, he's got 4 of those. It's a lot of text. Take those out. I don't know what that does.
Now, have you seen Guerrilla Tactics and Chain of Plasma together?
Oh, I have not. That sounds spicy though.
So this is the spicy thing, right? So Chain of Plasma, usually everyone's little like bulk bargain bin burn spell from Onslaught. If you chain your opponent with Chain of Plasma, your opponent can choose to copy that, and you can discard a card and then copy it. So then when your opponent copies the spell, when your opponent copies Chain of Plasma, you have the option to discard a card. Well, if you discard Guerrilla Tactics, it is an effect your opponent controls that has caused you to discard Guerrilla Tactics. So instead of dealing 2 damage, it is now instant 4 damage. So
fantastic. Okay, it's a combo.
It is the combo. It's cute. It's neat. I don't know how many times your opponent was ever going to copy Chain of Plasma, especially when you don't play creatures. But now they're never going to copy Chain of Plasma ever. And you could probably side out these Guerrilla Tactics and not worry about it.
Oh, you got me too. Oh no. What have I done?
Exactly. So, it's always... So in middle school, one of the things that is different is some of the sets that are legal. And you have additional sets that are legal in middle school than you do in pre-modern. As a result, Hymn to Turok is a card that is legal in this format that is not legal in pre-modern. Hymn to Turok is not really good friends with Guerrilla Tactics either. So if you come across a deck that's playing that, leave those Guerrilla Tactics in. It's a lot of fun. Heck, if you can, just respond to duress and leave only Guerrilla Tactics in your hand, your opponent's gonna have a bad time. So there's a lot of fun that you can have with Guerrilla Tactics.
I like that. There's a blue card in old school that does that too.
There is Psychic Purge, I believe.
Yeah, there you go. That's always a fun one. Put in your sideboard, just to mess with people.
As a player who plays Hymn to Turok in old school, yes, correct.
We got our Seal of Fire going. Let's get at it. I'll take that off. Kill it.
Yeah. Seal of Fire.
Shock the ult.
Well, untap, we'll draw a card. Raja did go ahead and multi 6 here, so he's down a card. He's on the play, so he's kind of down some resources. Question is, do we shock this elf now and force David to have more land? We're just gonna firebolt it. Okay, sure. Use the manage effectively. Hey, look at this graveyard hate. The one of Phyrexian Furnace. I think this is fine. We can use this to nab some squeeze, to maybe draw a card later at cycles.
Signed by George Pratt.
Signed by the artist. Classic Raja. His signed card. So David again going to have turn 2 survival. And the pressure's on for Raja to do something relevant. A Pyrostatic Pillar would be wonderful here. Luckily we do have the Furnace to kind of to try to keep this survival in check.
No.
We can try. But as soon as David gets a surplus of mana, it becomes more difficult. Well, this might be fine. It might be okay. David going to think about his next plays here and see if we can play around this Furnace at all. Now, noticeably, Furnace gets the bottom card of the graveyard. So you can fetch, put this Wooded Foothills in there, and then you can go put a Squee in the yard. And your opponent has to activate Furnace twice to get to that Squee. And if you have enough cards to discard, your opponent's not going to be able to get to it fast enough and may have to crack it and draw a card. And you can get it off the table that way. So there's still some play around here. But Raja says you don't get any play.
All the graveyard hate.
Your graveyard is on lockdown. Okay, so the only thing missing from the Raja, Raja plan here is a Sulfuric Vortex or a Pyrostatic Pillar.
Format script signed by Christopher Rush, notably. Pretty hot.
That is hot. Those are hard to get now. David going to fall to 19 as we fetch. Probably going to see him grab a basic mountain here. Let's see what he does to follow up with that, though. Now, it's possible David, having access to Raj's board, did bring in the Octavia Orangutan. And that will allow him to pitch a creature that doesn't do anything to grab the orangutan that will destroy one of these artifacts here. And David doesn't grab the mountain, which suggests it may be in his hand. And I think we're going to go ahead and survival here. He has more than one mountain, but we didn't get one. Okay, Elvish Lyrist. All right, so don't care about the enchantments Raja might have. What do we want instead? I think we're probably going to go grab a Root Walla. We can pitch the Root Walla to something.
Pitching Root Walla. Okay, I'm back. Let's see what happens.
Okay, so we're going to grab a Root Walla. Great. And okay, so we're going to play the Root Walla, pitch Squee, and I see us grabbing another Squeeze. So we can try to rotate our Squeeze and play around. And that's going to be very difficult to do between the Furnace and the Tormod's Crypt. All right, so we're gonna get rid of the Root Walla before David can untap here. And the question is, do we activate any of our artifacts now?
So David could survival for, like, if he can play another small creature like an elf or something, or a bird, he could survival for a Masticore or a Deranged Hermit, maybe. That could be cool.
Masticore or Deranged Hermit. Those would be very good against Raj's current board state.
He's got to get a creature out there. Something to survival with. Doing something.
All right, 1 mana implies survivaling.
Hard.
I find it interesting that Raja has decided to give David at least one of these.
Yeah, trigger.
Yeah, one of the Squeeze here. All right.
Was Raja still in control mode? Trying to just little creatures off?
I think Raja is draw Pyrostatic Pillar mode and then try to find a way to get these the Squeeze away. The problem here is David did have the window to grab 2 Squeeze, which means we're not going to be able to get both, and he's going to be able to pitch one to get another one. We're going to play birds, sure. That's fine. Now, one of the things that Raja does have main deck is Cave In. Cave In is super spicy. Cave In will easily deal with most of this board almost for free. We can essentially pitch a card in our hand to go ahead and shock everything on the field, as well as each player, which will clean up the birds, clean up the root walla. All right, so
5 mana, which explains why Raja's deck CMC is so high.
that's exactly, yeah. That card doesn't cost mana. That card costs a card in your hand. It's free. All right, we're going to lightning bolt David. Okay, so that's a good sign. That means we're off to the races here. We're gonna grab the bottom card, then we're gonna go ahead and grab one of the squeeze. And okay, now we've got a win condition for Raja. Okay, so this is where we want to be. David's got 8 turns. Rather, he's got 7 turns to win. We'll see if he can do it. Okay, so let's see what David's going to get. David needs to grab into the squee. He's going to grab into the squee. I mean, it's hard. I don't know if we activate the Tormod's Crypt here. I think we have to. And just hope we draw another one. We've gotten rid of 2. David can go get the 4th squee, but I don't think we let David have the extra card in hand.
You got 2 naturalizers in the sideboard. I don't know if he brought them in, but they could be decent here.
Yeah, if we see the Elvish Lyrist, I'm inclined to believe a naturalize could be in here just to get rid of these artifact effects, or even a Pyrostatic Pillar or the Sephoric Vortex. So we'll see if David draws any of those, and we'll see if Raja gets punished for not taking the... Looks like they were conferring life totals for a moment. Now, man, if Raja's just sitting on like 2 Fire Blasts here... Ooh, the Nantuko Vigilante. All right, well, that's a problem here. Because that's going to force the issue. That's going to force Raja to activate his crypt, and he's going to lose his vortex in the process.
Yeah. I want to read what's on that forest. In the middle of David's hand. Or David's land pile there. Got some words on it.
That looks like a stamp and maybe some artwork or something.
Maybe like a Secret Santa.
I will believe that. I've got a Secret Santa Red Blast. We could have Secret Santa lands.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Is this a morph? What is that?
That's the Nantuko Vigilante. That is the morph. Oh, look at this.
Oh, yeah, Vigilante. Okay.
Okay, so we're going to... We are definitely going to imply that this vortex is not long for the world, as we are going to grab and play a Baloth. Okay. So... Oh, no! This is a problem for David, though, because now Raj has a chance to cave in here. And if he caves in here, we get rid of the morph creature, we get rid of the birds, we get rid of the root walla, and we don't have the mana to unmorph the Vigilante. So Vortex gets to stay, and we still have a game here. I think if Vortex goes away, David's going to run away with this quickly. All right, so Raja, do you have a shock effect to at least kill the Vigilante?
Busy board wide. Right. The free Paraclasm.
I mean, that would be the best thing. I don't know if they're still in the deck. I think card disadvantage is something you don't want against the card advantage engine. So I can see them not being here, but I mean, right now it doesn't look any better. Oh, we have a second Tormod's Crypt. That's wonderful. We're going to get rid of the We're gonna get rid of the squee here. If I have a fire blast, I am fire blasting. Oh, the birds was untapped. I thought the birds was not able to make mana. Okay, so the vigilante was live no matter what. Okay, so there wasn't any actually window here. I was gonna say if I had a fire blast, I'd sacrifice for 2 mountains to get rid of the vigilante before it could flip.
Yep.
So
Your face.
our opponents are discussing how this works, where vigilante comes up and then the ability gets put on the stack. So
Morph's a special ability, right? And we just learned that last match.
we did. So it morphs up for free, or before anyone can respond. But it is going to. Oh wow. Okay. We bolted and incinerated the Baloth so that we can't gain life. Vortex goes away, but at least Raja has the chance to potentially climb out of this. But I mean, we're facing 4 power on board, 6 if we just pump the root wall, and no, we have the other Baloth. Doesn't even matter. Raj is just like, okay, no, I'm done. Okay, yep, no, writing's on the wall there. So David's gonna win this match 2-0, take down our undefeated player. Raja getting exactly what he wanted, losing now in the hopes that means he can win out in the top 8 here. So we have no undefeated players here.
So is that game off?
That is the game. Sorry, you broke up there for just a moment. Please repeat that, Kyle, for the viewers at home.
First game loss?
That is the I don't know if that's the first. It's definitely the first match loss. I don't know if it's the first game loss. I think Raja has lost a few other games. I can find out the answer to this question. Yes, Raja lost a game last round. Raja also lost a game. Not round 4, not round 3. He lost round 2 on stream, I believe. Yeah, he lost round 2. Let's see. But and he lost round 1. So he's dropped some games, but he hasn't dropped any matches until now. We can see kind of how these players have boarded. Yep, David brought in the Ravenous Baloth, some naturalized effects. Sure, that makes sense. You can see one of the Romancing the Stones stamped naturalizes. Raja bringing in the 4th Vortex, it looks like. Some number of Pyrostatic Pillars. The Crypts as well. Oh, looks like David did bring in the Collar of the Claws. Those make sense, right? You can bears. Yeah, I mean, even if your opponent shocks one of your mana dorks and you tap it to, cast this flash, 2/2 elf, you make 4 power off of that, and then you get to untap and attack. So I think that's very powerful. Yeah, we see Raja bringing in all the artifact hate, or the graveyard hate, all of the Pyrostatic Pillars, and maybe even the other Vortex here. So yeah, that was his strategy, was just to try to bring these good cards in that just deal repeatable sources of damage and see what we can do. But I don't think Raja has the chance to play the control game for very long in the face of survival both games. Survival is just insurmountable.
So it's gonna be a tough top 8. People gaining life, playing survivals.
Yeah.
For the red deck. So
with David winning that one, David and Raja are both locked for top 8. We'll see who's top seed. It could be David. It could be someone else propelling themselves up. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's probably one of those two. But then we've got between 4. There's a scenario where there's like 4.5 X2 players that make it, and a scenario where only 3 X2 players make it. So with David winning and not dropping to X2, I think we're in the scenario where less X2s will actually make this. Let me take a look.
Hope you make it. Hope you get in.
Let's see. We've got. See, these guys are now both X1. We've got another X1. There's a top seed X2. I still have to play my match. That could go any kind of way. We're looking. It's going to be a tight top 8, but I think we're looking at. Let's see. That's at least 1, 2, 3, 4 X1s. So, okay, so we're looking at 4 X2s, I think. So yeah, okay, so 4 X2s look like they're going to make it. That'll be exciting. We'll see what happens. A lot of spicy decks that we haven't seen on stream yet, potentially making it into our a top 8 here. So I'm excited to see what happens. I play my match tomorrow, so that'll be interesting to see. Yeah. I am very worried I'm going to get bubbled out tonight, but them's the breaks. But hey, I'll get to focus on bringing you this fine quality content on stream next Thursday. So pay attention in our Discord if you are part of the league. If you want to know more about what's happening, pay attention to our Discord anyway. You will find out more. That's where all of our updates are. As soon as we have the top 8 announcement, we will make that announcement. We will share all of the top 8 deck lists. It will be open deck lists there. We do encourage you, of course, to share your decks, even if you're not in top 8, because we'd like to see all of the fun decks that are around. The format of the top 8 is we do play the quarterfinals off stream, and then we play the semis, both semis, and the finals on Thursday. Assuming everyone can make it. So we will bring you, tentatively, 3 rounds of Magic next week. Our 2 semifinal matches, and then the conclusion of the league with our finals. So definitely tune in next week. It's going to be a blast. Not just because I have Red Blast behind me. Gotta make a blast joke at least once per stream. But it's going to be fun. Hope you guys can all join us.